Muritala Mohammed International Airport is in Lagos. It has 2 terminals. A terminal is like a bus stop where planes come and stop you, or plane can stop you here, or they can stop you here. You get the idea, and they offload the passengers. That's what terminal means. In 2014, Nigeria said he had 1 terminal for long, Terminal 1. Then I said they're going to build a new terminal, Terminal B, Terminal 2. And they voted about $500 million to build 4 terminals in 4 of the international airports. 1 new terminal in Lagos, 1 new terminal in Abuja, 1 in Port Harcourt, 1 in Kano. So Nigeria now had in all of those international airports, we now had two terminals. Buhari commissioned the Terminal 2 in the Muritala Mohammed International Airport on the, I think, March 2022. That was when he commissioned. So it was March, like 3 years ago, that Nigeria had a second terminal at that Muritala Mohammed Airport, state-of-the-art facility. Yeah. And in 2019, that Terminal 1 that they want to renovate now was renovated by this then former minister, I think Hadi, that one that useless one that disliked Nigeria, that went to carry an aeroplane from Ethiopia, painted it Nigeria and brought it to also flag Nigeria with Hadi Siraka was the commissioner, who was the minister who financed the renovation of that Terminal 1. Guess how much was used for that renovation? They used 14 billion to renovate Terminal 1, the same terminal I want to renovate now, in 2019. Then about 14 billion was roughly about 39 million USD. That's 39 million dollars, because then exchange rate was about 360 naira per dollar. If you convert this current one now, 712 billion naira. If you convert to million, it will give you about 450, almost 500 million US dollars. Because the exchange rate now is about 1,000. So look, renovation that was done in 2019 with 39 million dollars is now being done now with about 450, almost 500 million US dollars. This airport is not a comatose, so it's not like a totally destroyed or a bad airport. This airport still has what called censored conveyor belts. It has about 9 jet bridges. It has about 10 advanced cooling system. It has heat extraction system. It has a very wide, we call free duty area where you have banks and shops. It has a 22-room hotel apartment in that terminal.
State of the art.
State of the art. So what the APC government wants to do is to destroy all of these things and rebuild it, because they are interested in siphoning 712 billion into private coffers. Mind you, this same 712 billion was not budgeted for in the last 2025 budget. It's not in the budget. Budget for the Federal Ministry of Aviation is 71 billion. That is all the salaries they will pay, all the maintenance they will do, all the job they will carry out for this year 2025 cannot be more than 71 billion. Yet a ministry that has 71 billion for federal allocation yearly is now carrying on a project of 712 billion. Mind you, this same project was not endorsed by the Nigerian people.
That's times 10.
Times 10. This same project was not endorsed by the Nigerian people. When an executive wants to spend money, he will go and ask the Nigerian people, should I or should I not? And the Nigerians will react through their representative at the National Assembly. That is to say, those who have in the Senate and the House of Representatives will now say, okay, do it, don't do it, cut it down, cut that. There was no it was not in the budget. There was no allocation for it. Nigerian people did not endorse it. There was no bidding. They did somebody say, we want to do this road, though. We want to renovate it for 712 billion, though. Submit proposal. Let us know who will give. There was no bidding, no procurement project. As I speak to you today, that airport has been awarded. Guess the contractor? CCECC. China Civil Engineering Electrical Construction Company. See, I'm going to anywhere you see those Chinese working in Nigeria, carrying medical, run, because that is the ancestors and the gods coming together to drill the Nigerian nation. Listen to me. This is the same company, CCECC, that was used by Monday Okpebolo to construct the Raman Park in a flyover. When he just came into government, 2 days into government, he commissioned that flyover. Because when people say, for example, came aboard and said, he said that this project will be funded by subsidy. I wonder, are we that stupid in this country? It's like me coming to tell my children, hey, my son, DSTV price has risen up. We will not say we will not be able to afford it anymore. We are having problem paying school fees and feeding. DSTV is now like 50,000. Please, we cannot be using 50,000 to subscribe to watch TV. We'll use the money now. And after like a couple of months, we started eating well, we are doing well, we are managing, allegedly. And I go and buy a new shoe as your father. I come and they say, Daddy, you don't buy a new shoe? I say, yes. Where you see money? I'll say, it is that money I stopped with, I was gathering from DSTV. Is the money existent? That money has been channeled. If you remove money for subsidy, what subsidy money we used to pay to say, okay, if where is 100 naira, pay 15 naira so Nigeria people can buy it now. If Nigeria people are buying 100 naira now, where do you not see the money? If the money is coming from sales of oil revenue, why was it not budgeted for? That money, that 712 billion, I can bet you, is going to be financed by Chinese loans. In the requirement for securing Chinese loans, the Chinese will tell you that they will be the ones to carry out the contract. That is why that ECC is giving the contract without bidding. If the Chinese want to give you loan, they will tell you that for them to give you the loan, they will do the job. You will give them by force. Well, you think Chinese people doing flyover is a fluke. It's not a fluke. That is how they bite government. Let me give you an example. When the popular approach, so you get the perspective. When the popular approach, he asked for assembly, he did that thing. When he collected his own too, because when he was elected, they had schooled him on how to bite government. They had taught him the processes. When he entered into office, 2 days later, he commissioned that project, gave it to that Chinese company.
Were you there when they taught him?
No, I'm not so. Let me.
How come you are privy to that?
He commissioned that project. After some months later, what did he do? He went to the State House of Assembly to secure a loan of how much? A loan of 100 billion. And it's alleged that when he was struggling to secure that loan, he bought car, 2024 less just Jeep for the pepper soup speaker. And cash donations went round, that's alleged. That was what enabled them to secure that loan of 100 billion. Let me explain how Chinese loan work. If I want to do a project now, for example, I want to tie maybe a flyover, and that flyover is estimated to worth about 30 billion. If you get a Chinese company, they will tell you that they will help you secure Chinese loan, but they will do it for like 50 billion. If I am the governor and I also want my own money, I tell you, please build 30 billion for it for me. Me, I need 30 billion. We'll now build 30 billion, that becomes total of 80 billion. They're not going to build 80 billion into that arrangement. You will not say, okay, they will not tell you, okay, apply for a loan of 100 billion. Then you will not write to them. They will not help you facilitate you from the Chinese government. When you secure the loan of 100 billion, you secure that loan, you will not take like 20 billion to say, okay, one thing for other scenery, build roads, build school, and those things. The remaining 80 billion, they will not write a proposal for that project. They will not give them. When they give them the 80 billion, they will not go and take 30 billion and fund you indirectly. Then in that remaining 50 billion, instead of them to use 30 billion to do the work, they will not take 25 billion or 30 billion and struggle to use the meager 20 billion left to do the Chinese role at a very poor standard. You saw the flyover that collapsed in Niger State where 2 people died. It's this same kind of protest. I bet you to say, it is how they let Kayamo come on board and swear to Nigerians that money they are bringing is going to be brought by subsidy and not Chinese loan. They did not pass that proposal through the National Assembly because when they write a proposal for 712 billion for the repair of Terminal 1 in the Lagos International Airport, those legislators, though many of them they are brainless and mindless, but they have gurus who work with them as technical assistants. They will look at the document and they will see that renovation of this airport cannot be more than 70 billion.
Okay.
Where is the remaining 630 billion going into?
Sorry.
And they will now begin to ask, please give me my cut, before you now settle the legislature. And the presidency money will now arrive through legislation bill to the presidency. You see that the huge chunk of the money that the presidency want to bite must have been totally cut down. That is why they did not pass it. What they will now do next is to go and look for another program that they will fly through to the National Assembly to secure loan. Just on Friday here, they brought a proposal. They said they're going to feed 8.8 million Nigerians with soft palliative that is I want to cushion the effect. If they give 8.8 million Nigerians in 1,000 words, what does that tell you? Even if they give them 10,000 naira, that will amount to 80 billion. If they give them 100,000, what are we talking about? That's 800 billion. That is the kind of proposal that will now feed to the National Assembly. The National Assembly will now approve it. They will not go and get Chinese loan.
Okay. Because
you cannot track that one. So that's how they manage to join this together.
Thank you.
All of these things is all laced with crime and criminality.
Take a breather. Thank you. But let's meet.